Hello everybody, welcome back to SheffPlays, Zombie Critiques, and then today we're talking about the final round-based map in Cold War, that being Forsaken, and you know what? This map did way better than I expected. I knew I enjoyed these maps, but I did not give them enough credit going in. So let's start off and do our pros, cons, rating, recommendation, and call it a review. Let's get right into it. The pros, the different intro from usual. This isn't just your jump in, play zombies, and go. It's different because you have to wait for this portal, and the rounds advance super quickly. So if you're just sitting here, rounds are going to pile up, zombies are going to be a lot stronger by the time you get out, and you really have to play this with a little bit of method. I'm sure it probably doesn't come to a point where it does that, but it gets hectic fast. Another thing is this map is super vibrant, if you can't tell already. Like, the blues, the purples, like, they're everywhere, and it really makes the map, like, pop. And I really love how this map looks like that. It looks like the dark ether is everywhere. Next is the Abomination, which is this map's mini-boss. And it is really cool. It's definitely, like, you can't tell me it's not some sort of callback to the Margwa from Black Ops 3. It's a three-headed beast with three mouths, and one of the mouths will light up, and you gotta shoot that mouth, pop it, and wait for the other ones to glow. And it's a really cool beast. He's different from the Margwa, though, in that he has other attacks rather than just smacking you. One of them is he shoots a beam of lightning at you, which is always nice. Or he charges at you with maximum velocity, making it look like your screen just got hit with a concussion. And he's just a really neat boss. And, you know, he's pretty strong at first, but once you start pack-a-punching and upgrading your weapon, he's really not too hard to take down. Next is Noctur and Toten, which we're in now. It is just a small minigame. It's not like something you can stay in forever. It's 3 rounds, and if you beat all 3 rounds, you get a decent amount of rewards like salvage and stuff. But you can't take 3 hits while you're in here in succession, and you have very limited ammo. Like, very limited ammo. So you want to make those bullets count, but also don't want to let that timer run out so you don't lose your rewards. Next is the Wonder Weapon, which again, although I did not unlock it or remember how to build it, I do remember it being really cool. It's a axe, or a kind of gun in a way, if I'm remembering correctly, but I do remember it being my favorite Wonder Weapon in this game. That much I can tell you. Next is the different settings. Now, when you go throughout the map, there are 3 teleporters you use to get around. You have the main city, or 4 different areas. You have the main city, or town, the landing pad, the office bunker area, and then the pack-a-punch area, which is filled with radiation, so you want to make sure when you're pack-a-punching or you're doing something else in there, you know what you're going in there to do, because you will start to take damage eventually. And that actually ties in with our next 2 points, is the pack location. It really is cool. There's ether shrouds everywhere, but or ether shards everywhere, but they're in a color we haven't seen before. They're yellow. And you could say there's something else, you could say whatever, but I'm almost certain they're ether shards, and the yellow looks a lot better on them than I'd expect, especially after weaponized 115 in Black Ops 4 was the live camo. It did return, but it changed when you got kills with pink, green, yellow, and blue, and I always thought the yellow was the worst looking. So to see that those shards do look really cool is like a small touch, but I wanted to point it out. Another thing in there is the PhD machine. Now, this isn't even like relatively important, and I might just be super blind and it was on other maps as well, but they brought it back, didn't change it too much, and it looks beautiful. Like, I love how it looks in this game. And like I said, I don't recall it being on other maps. I'm pretty sure I'd point it out here in a second, but it is really nice. And there are those shards. Those are definitely ether shards. You can't tell me otherwise. But yeah, it's just super dope. Right there. Now with the cons. The reason I kind of dragged down there for a second with the final pros was because I have 1 con with this map. Well, 2, but the second one is very much nitpicky, and I've complained about it before with this game. But cons are the explodey boys right there. They kind of show up few and far between, but when they do, killing them can result in the goofing of a train and just throwing the whole thing out of whack. Kind of the same as the Panzersoldat, except although those guys are on this map, I made it to round 25 and I only saw one of them, so I didn't put them in the cons because they're even fewer and farther between than the explodey boys. I don't remember what those guys are called. I could have just easily looked at it, but I didn't. So they're explodey boys, and that's what we're going to call them, and that's how they're staying. And this map, overall, gets a 9.5. I enjoyed this map a ton, and it's just really cool. And the return of Burger Town as a little instance, the restaurant from Advanced Warfare, is just really nice to see. I thought that was really neat when the map first came out. I remember like walking up to it and being like, whoa, wait a minute, that's not supposed to be here. But yeah, I enjoyed it. So, hope you enjoyed. Hope you're having a good day. If you're watching early on, have a good rest of your day. See you in the next one, which will be an Onslaught review. I have one of those done. I think we're going to kind of more or less just talk about them. We're not going to do the same pros cons formula that we usually do because all the Onslaught modes are relatively the same. Or we will, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I think we'll just do one of them, and then we'll do one Outbreak video, and one Dead Ops video. So we've got 3 more videos to cover in Cold War, and then the overall rating. And then after that, we're going to go back in time a little bit, and we're going to go through all the other Call of Duties that tried to replicate this formula. Whether or not they did it well, that's kind of up to you, but I'm going to give them the same treatment, doing all the pros and cons and just how I feel about them, because some of them I think are really, really good, and some of them I'm not a huge fan of, but being that I'm predominantly a zombies player, I can kind of see the light in any given map. That was the one Panzer I saw, and it's round 25. So, yeah, but I'll see you in the next one.
I have him, Weaver. Evac successful.
Solid copy. Nice job, team. But there's still work to be done.